Fam, what's up? We back. This is The Real Show. Monday, March 17th. What's going on? It's Kyle Henderson, Bandit Football on YouTube. Is the internet better? All right, we had a little outage earlier today, so I'm back. All right, in case you missed it, Alabama basketball, number 2 seed in the upcoming March Madness bracket. Taking on Robert Morris, already a 22-point favorite. The main storyline for Alabama at this point in time is the health of Grant Nelson. If this team does not have a healthy Grant Nelson, I don't know how far they can go in the NCAA basketball tournament, right? I asked you this before on our outage show. Now we're back. How far do you think Alabama can go? Let's say this. Let's say Grant Nelson, who is supposed to be meeting with a knee specialist this week. How far do you think a healthy Alabama can get in the tournament? I mean, I think at one point I felt that this team could maybe go as far as possible. But I don't know. Something changed for me. Maybe they could use, what I'm saying as rat poison. I don't know. But there was a time where I felt, really confident about this team. Dang, Alex Wilder in with some news on the tornado. Bro, we got caught in that tornado that went through Calera. Wow, EF3. That's crazy. Patriot Life in with a St. Patty's super chat. That's what's up. Man. Alex, I hope you guys are okay. That's terrible, bro. The thing about these storms is people get so mad at James Spann. And they're like, man, the tornado wasn't as bad as it, or the storms weren't that bad. Look, bro. The state of Alabama loves James Spann, and it's impossible to predict exactly where a tornado is going to come up. I love the information. I would never be mad about it. Covering inside the comment box has Alabama taking on Duke. Michael Roden. The bracket isn't as difficult except for Duke. I would agree with that. Oh, Alex Wilder, we got our little moderator back. Let me take care of some housekeeping stuff real quick. But I don't think man, I felt at one point that this team could win it all. But man, it was just, even though they are battle tested and they played one hell of a schedule, I just don't feel that this team, man, it's tough. I want to say I don't feel anymore that this team has what it takes to win the whole thing. It sucks to say that right now. I hope I'm wrong. I don't know. But I think, let's see how far they can go. You guys should be good. I took off that moderator too. And Patriot Life in with the super chat, bro. Thank you so much, man. Always supporting us, even on St. Patty's Day. I think the team that could win it all is that Florida team. Man, as I was saying in the morning show, our first show, part 1. Damn, that Florida team was crazy. They're making everything. But man, if Nelson isn't healthy this tournament, man, and you know what? I love Nayotes, bro. Like I do. Covering all river region says Auburn got to play Louisville in Kentucky in round 2. And then, shoot, UConn's over there on that side too, right? For us in the Storms, I guess Tuscaloosa wasn't impacted, but Gordo, which is 25 minutes, northwest of here, we went out there yesterday, Kaden and I. We drove out to Gordo. We didn't see a lot of damage out there. We didn't go to like all areas. But man, thoughts and prayers to anybody who was impacted. West Coast and pointing out, hey Kyle, does McDonald's still do the Shamrock Shake? I hope so. That thing was solid. Michael Roden saying he's got Auburn in his Final Four. I would imagine that's a popular pick. I mean, 14 teams from the SEC shows you the overall depth of the conference, right? All right, give me your Cinderella real quick. Who you got your Cinderella? And thanks. If you joined at 10 a.m., we went for like 15 minutes until we had to cut that stream. I don't run the internet. Daniel points out we're only 10 minutes away from Chelsea, but got really nothing. Yeah, we got some storms, but nothing too bad over here, thank goodness. But I know there's a lot of people that were impacted. A ton. Didn't they say there was over 200 people like in total between Mississippi and Alabama that lost their lives, something like that? Terrible. That's crazy. Darius says, Nate Oates coached high school in Michigan and beat my old school by 50. Are you serious? Covering all river region says, SEC is turning into a basketball school. Dude, there's so many teams, man. Shoot. This was the deepest, most talented we've seen the SEC, basketball-wise. I'm hoping that these guys can play their best basketball at the the final games. We'll see. Last year, I felt that Nate Oates did a really great job to take that team as far as they could go. I think this team has it. I don't know what's going on. Man, West Coast, and you're always traveling, man. You were recently in Hong Kong. Now you're in Austria? That's what's up. I've never been to Austria or Hong Kong. Michael Roden points out, Auburn and Florida have good shots. Alabama without Nelson will be very difficult. Yeah, 100%. So anyways, I mean, the storyline clearly revolves around Grant Nelson. And I like his game. He played great this year. And if he's healthy, and he's like when he's on, and so is Mark Sears, this team can beat a lot of teams. Maybe all of them if those guys are healthy. Oh, that's what's up, man. You're in Vienna. My Final Four prediction, man, I haven't even given it a thought. I would imagine that, Florida. No, it's Florida who would have to play UConn, I think, in the second round. Florida got kind of a tough draw on that side. I like their game. Clearly, Auburn, the way that they played this year. Duke has been really good. That'll be the team that stands in the way of Alabama. I don't know. I would love to see this team go back-to-back Final Fours. Shoot, I'd love to see them go all the way. Can they? I think they have the roster to do it, but they've just been really up and down. And I think, playing against, really tough teams, I think it's kind of shown they've kind of been too up and down. They really haven't found their, true rhythm. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I would love to see it, though. I would love to see another run. Who wouldn't, right? It's been so great to just see Alabama basketball where they're at. All right, so 22-point favorites. All right, so I'd love some feedback here. I started thinking about as Alabama enters its second week of football practice, who are we watching? So go ahead and post. I have 4 guys that I'm going to go over in this segment. But post 2. Whether that's a coach, these are the 4 that I went with. But post like 2 people that you are like really interested in to see like their development, how they impact the roster, maybe a storyline, how Alabama utilizes them. I was going to add Jalen Mbakwe on here too. I just felt that 4 players fit better on the screen from an aesthetic standpoint. But for you, when you're looking at spring and you know storylines, same as I, who are a couple like prospects or players that you're really interested in as we go into this second week? By the way, Alabama has practice tomorrow, and that'll start their second week. I think the reason... All right, so we're starting to get some feedback. Stevie Kicks has Noah Carter. Ooh, I like that one. We haven't talked a lot about Noah Carter really at all, entering his second year at Alabama. Covering all river regions wants to know about James Smith. Look, I would imagine that James Smith and LT Overton are 2 guys that can really get to the quarterback. But shoot, we've been hearing a lot of positive things about Jeremiah Beeman in that first practice. Don't forget about Tim Keenan, which has been great. Army 3275 has Dejon Lee, Keon Keeley, and Keelan Russell as the players that he's looking at. Larry Large has Wilcom Formby, Cam Calhoun, and Ty Simpson. So for me, I went with Ryan Grubb as the offensive coordinator, and I'm really curious to see if he can be, let's call him like a missing link to Kalen DeBoer's overall philosophy as a football coach. Maybe look, Kalen DeBoer is a solid coach. What he's done, up to this point in time is definitely admirable. He wouldn't have got here if it wasn't. But a lot of that success, was it all tied to the fact that he had a damn good coach that really understood the philosophy and they just worked well together in Ryan Grubb? So could Ryan Grubb really be the missing piece to bringing Alabama to the top under Coach Kalen DeBoer in year 2, like immediately? I'm not talking about a process that takes, 2 or 3 years. I'm talking like instantly. I'm talking like week 1, we see an impactful offense that is really something that we can get behind. I kind of feel that that's going to be the case. I can't predict the future, but just I kind of get the sense that Ryan Grubb, even from hearing just that one press conference, I was like, yo, I understand. I understand this guy's vision, wants to be aggressive. I'm not worried about him not using the running backs. I think he's the man for the job. That's why I put him that, like, we're watching him. And I believe Alabama will have its first scrimmage here in 10 days on March 27th. So you still have a little bit of time until this team has, like, actual scrimmage, which will be behind closed doors. I don't even know if you're a member of Yale, Alabama, if you can go to this thing. I don't know. But March 27th will be the first time that they have some sort of a scrimmage or whatever. I appreciate you guys being here. If you missed our part 1 of this show, we had to hit the restream because the internet was a little laggy. So I appreciate you guys giving me some grace. Rocket Sound inside the comment box says this: I've heard some say about Coach Kalen DeBoer wouldn't be successful without Grubb. However, Coach Kalen DeBoer, that was the secret to Grubb's success. Yeah, when I look to these two, maybe, look, some people just work really well together. Michael Roden points out that you got to be able to run the ball in the SEC. 100%. Yeah. And Grubb did get fired from Seattle. Yeah, he did. He did. And Coach Kalen DeBoer took his lumps here, losing 4 games. So be it. I bet you he learned a tremendous amount, probably more coaching in just 1 year in the SEC than within the last like 5-6 years, probably. The SEC is crazy, man. It's a Shark Tank. All the coaches are amazing. All the teams are good. Especially now that a lot of the playing field has been equalized. It's going to be the same thing this year. So that's why I'm looking at Ryan Grubb as kind of like one of the core pieces that I'm watching. The next player I'm looking at is Isaiah Horton. And again, I thought about adding Jalen Mbakwe here. I've explained why many times. Like, how are they going to utilize Jalen Mbakwe? We'll discuss that at some other point in time. And I started thinking about this because I asked you, who do you think the top 3 wide receivers are going to be? Like 1, 2, 3 for Alabama. I honestly feel Isaiah Horton is going to be right there with Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams. And I don't think that Isaiah Horton is coming over here to play the 4th best, 5th best wide receiver. I think that Isaiah Horton is the guy. I would venture to say I'd be like shocked if Isaiah Horton doesn't have, like, at a bare minimum 40 receptions this year. 40. And I'm if I really had to like make a strong guess how many receptions he'll get this year, I'd say like 50. That's how much I think that Isaiah Horton is going to be utilized this year. And I think there's going to be 4 wide receivers and a tight end that catch a ton of passes. Kelton Love, what's up, man? Appreciate you. We'll put you on the screen. See, Daniel Adams says that he's going to have more than 40 receptions as well, which then kind of leads me to what we were talking about earlier is, and I had a video talking about this, and we'll talk about it a little bit, is like who's going to be the 4th wide receiver with Alabama's football team. Oh, Samuel brought up something really interesting. Let's talk about this. So I saw this. I should have had it on my show. Good point out. So Samuel Edwards inside the comment box. What's up, man? Appreciate you bringing this to the attention and for being a fan funder. He says this. You heard about K-Law, what he said about Alabama in his Kentucky interview. So as you know, Kendrick Law, who is a wide receiver here, transferred to Kentucky. He had an interview basically like through the school, and hey, Samuel, would you agree with me? He was throwing shade at Alabama, 100%. He was like, I'm the type of player that needs to be utilized in a lot of different ways. And then he also started saying stuff about like the strength and conditioning to where that he's going to be able to work at Kentucky that's going to allow him to work on more speed and limit injuries, right? Go watch it. Just look up Kendrick Law interview. But I'm paraphrasing, but it sounded like he was throwing a little bit of shade at Alabama's offensive play calling and like at the strength and conditioning coach. Samuel, am I right? Back me up here. Go check it out. I was, and I still am. I don't like necessarily what he said, but I like his game. Like, I thought he was a good wide receiver, and I thought he would do something here. But look, let's face it. Ryan Williams was better than him, and so was Jeremy Bernard. And you weren't going to use more than 2 wide receivers with the quarterback that you had last year, so he didn't get touches, and he did have opportunities. Some of the opportunities that he had, he had a really nice long kick return that he fumbled. He dropped a couple passes. He got a personal foul in a critical moment. So those are the things that people are going to remember about Kendrick Law being here in his final year. Byron says inside the comment box, he absolutely threw shade. We're talking about Kendrick Law. He had an interview with Kentucky, and to me, it was like he was throwing shade, basically like talking smack about Alabama, kind of reading between, if you read between the lines. I thought he was going to be really good here. He didn't really do anything here. Darren Jenkins inside the comment box. Let's see what he has to say. I think it will be a committee effort. Milroe picked his favorite wide receiver. The new QB, don't know who it's going to be, will spread it around in terms of the wide receivers, right? And you have so many guys that you do have to get the football to. All right, so that's why I added Isaiah Horton. The next guy is Keon Keeley. This has been a hell of a storyline to follow. Because Keon Keeley, when he got here, the outside linebacker position, he's somebody 5-star, looks the part, is the part. This is a guy who was brought in by Coach Saban to be an outside backer. And as soon as Coach Kane Womack gets here, along with Coach Kalen DeBoer, they move him to the Bandit position, and he added on, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 27 pounds. So we're waiting to see if, this Bandit position, his hand now down in the dirt, a little bit bigger. He has the body size for it. If last year was going to be the year that he got on the field, we didn't see him. I think there was some rumors that there was some off the field stuff. Can't confirm any of that. Coach Roach had a lot of positive things to say about him. So does Kane Womack. Plus, he wasn't going to play over LT Overton. Nobody was. So, again, with LT Overton coming back and Kelby Collins, the transfer in, and Jordan Renard also here, where does that put Keon Keeley? And I think, honestly, if we had to talk about it, and if you really wanted to talk about something uncomfortable, you would probably say, is Keon Keeley one of the guys that we should watch that hits the transfer portal on April 15th? I don't know that. We have no idea. He seems happy here. Hey, Greystone, we'll take calls tomorrow on the 18th. I mix it up sometimes, so it's not all like calls or just all dialogue. And sometimes I've been throwing in some shows in the evening time too. So let me ask you, regarding Keon Keeley, do you think he gets, I don't necessarily want to say significant playing time, because significant playing time to me is like 300 snaps. Do you think that Keon Keeley plays this year? He didn't even play last year. He had under 20 snaps. I don't consider that playing. Caleb Paul, is Keelan Russell on the Alabama football roster yet? 100%. He's already enrolled. Yeah, so he's here, bro. And for those of you out there that follow this with a microscope, not everybody does. So Caleb, all good, man. If you have more questions, post them inside the comment box. It's all good, man. We're here to answer that stuff. And I'm talking about Keon Keeley, the third. I was going to say player, but I also have Ryan Grubb up here. It says number 31. He's a redshirt sophomore. What's up, Jarvis? Good to see you, bro. And look, there's a little bit of a logjam there. That's okay. It's okay. Melon Jesus, I like that. He says Keon Keeley get 100+ snaps this season. That would be good. I think that could be Daniel Adams. I'm talking about we're knee deep in it, man. We know the storylines, the players, the rosters. All right. And the next player I'm talking about is Mustard, right? Dejon Lee. Yo, Coach Kalen DeBoer and Courtney Morgan put together one hell of a recruiting class. And I get it. And I've been critical of Coach Kalen DeBoer too. And there's a lot of people out there that don't think that he's capable for the job and all this stuff. If you ever find yourself in that space, look at some of these freshmen already. We hype up freshmen here. That's natural. But these guys are going to play. These guys are ultra talented. Dejon Lee's one of them. he's not going to be a starter this year, but I think he plays. I think Michael Carroll will play. I think, depending on the quarterback situation, Keelan Russell, maybe he plays too. But you look at a lot of these freshmen, Latier Brooks coming in, man. Dejon Lee is ultra talented, man. He's already turning heads in the first week. Him and Latier Brooks, if you had to talk about two freshmen that were maybe like the freshmen of the first week, I think those guys could probably be it. We'll all kind of point to Keelan Russell as being the guy, and he's going to be at some point in time. But, man, Latier Brooks is baller. Dejon Lee, baller. Myron, same. That's why I added him here, man. Like, if you find yourself kind of in a weird spot about where the program is, don't be. Look at the freshmen. That's a hell of a class. I know things like on the recruiting front are a little bit slow right now. I don't worry about that stuff. They got most of their prospects in the summertime anyways last year. Brandon Woods, what's up, man? Brandon, they practice tomorrow on Tuesday, the 18th. And Brandon Woods is back on Kendrick Law. He's saying, y'all, Kendrick Law is hating on Bama. Yeah, we just hit on that, and I agree with you, bro. He was definitely throwing shade at him. And he had opportunities. Not a lot of opportunities, but the opportunities they had here didn't really make the most of them. I don't know, if he's the main guy at Kentucky or how they'll utilize him. I think he's a good player. But he was beat out here, and I didn't expect that to happen, but it was. And you move on, and you have a hell of a wide receiver issue here now. B-Rob inside the comment box says, Brandon, but you shouldn't transfer and go say what you got to say to the media, especially when you didn't do anything for us. Yeah, I was a little bit surprised, honestly, to hear Kendrick Law, because reading between the lines, there's no, he was saying stuff about Alabama. I was surprised to see it. Yeah, Stevie Kicks points out about the tight end from Mater Day. I think, look, Alabama has a ton of officials this summer. That's why I'm not worried about the recruiting front. And it seems like Alabama does have a nice little pipeline to Mater Day, right? Who's your favorite player from Mater Day? Better be Bryce Young. All right, so yeah, those are the four players that I definitely wanted to point out. Coach and three players, if you will. Guys I'm certainly watching. Other storylines as we continue to navigate into week 2 of spring football is the continued development of the quarterbacks. And I think now when you're looking at the quarterback room, we know that Ty's doing his thing, Keelan Russell doing his thing, but I'm curious to find out more about Austin Mack and how Austin Mack fits in this equation too, right? One thing that I do like about the quarterback room is there's only 3 quarterbacks. I know there's a couple walk-ons or whatever, but I like the fact that there's only 3 dudes. I mean, last year, what was there, 5 guys? There's only 1 quarterback. All right, I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to put you on the spot. Who do you think is quarterback number 2 against Florida State? Who's quarterback number 2 against Florida State? I don't want to start a war. But I love the quarterback room. It's going to be the biggest storyline in all of college football. Who's going to be the quarterback that heads out on the field in year 2 under Coach Kalen DeBoer following Jalen Milroe? That is going to be the biggest question. Everybody's going to be talking about it. And they should be. But I don't think there's a clear front runner at all. at this point in time, which is fine. We talked about this earlier, and I had a video talking about the running back room. I don't have all the running backs listed on this particular graphic. But just kind of re-polling you guys, who's your third running back? I didn't even list Richard Young or Jam Miller. Myron's asking about a quarterback to hit the portal. I don't think so because, look, I don't think a quarterback hits the portal for Alabama because Coach Kalen DeBoer is not going to name a starter by April 15th. I think he's going to have a continued open quarterback competition going through August. I mean, how much can you really learn about your quarterbacks within, 15 practices? I don't think a lot, right? Money McGee has Draylon Washington as the third running back. Samuel Edwards saying Daniel Hill. I don't know why we got the Dre Washington guy. Yeah, there's a hell of competition, though. I love it. Amazing competition. Competition makes the room all that much better. And you got young A.K. Deer. No one's talking about Kevin Riley. Melon Jesus has it like this. Daniel Hill. Whoa. Man, Melon Jesus has Daniel Hill above. Is that above Jam Miller? Hendricks saying Dre Washington is good. 5'9", 220. Little bowling ball, right? And this was kind of getting back to what I was talking about earlier, like looking at the elements at the wide receiver room. This is one of the hardest things to go over. Is who's going to be wide receiver 4 or shoot, like 4, 5, 6? I don't know. This is the hardest one that we always talk about. Jarvis, what you got, man? Who's your fourth wide receiver? Post inside the comment box. Oh no, Melon Jesus, they got Jam number 1, man. What's up, John Shannon? It's stacked. Cole Adams is so good, man. He's so good. He's so talented. Larry Large has Horton. Jarvis has Lazier Brooks. Show 44 is like Keelan named starter after spring game, and we lose Austin McEntire. You imagine? That's why you can't name a quarterback the starter. See, West Coastin, man. West Coastin has it like this. Ryan Williams, Journey Bernard, Isaiah Horton. Hell, man, don't forget about... I don't even want to ask this, but do you think that a wide receiver hits the transfer portal in the springtime? I kind of do. I wish they wouldn't, but just like, look, Rocketown, I mean, same thing that we're all hearing. Even the great Josh Pate heard it too. I mean, and that's why, you have like Jalen Mbakwe up here. Everyone's talking about Lazier Brooks. wild, man. God, I think we probably lose a wide receiver. I mean, look, and all the guys aren't even listed on this board. Bubba Hampton's still here. He's injured. You still got Derek Meadows, right? Man. Oh, man. Jalen Hell hitting the portal would hurt. I think somebody's got to leave. And they'll try to figure out how to get Mbakwe, I would imagine. I would have loved for Bach to stay at that Husky position, but now you got Cam Calhoun. That's why I'm like trying to figure out how to get Mbakwe on the field. I don't know. I have no intel on this. I'm just like looking at it the way that you guys are. I think because they invested in Jalen Mbakwe, and he is certainly talented, I think kind of the odd man out here, and Brooks is like on a rocket ship. I don't know. I think maybe Rico Scott, unfortunately. But I have no idea. Oh, Bubba Hampton. Man. Tough room to look at, Almost like too much. Too much talent. And then kind of going back to like Kendrick Law. What if Kendrick Law was in this room still? Who would he be better than? I mean, he didn't have more production than, I don't know. I mean, Jalen Hell had more yards. Think about this. Coming in, Jalen Hell still has more production than Kendrick Law. Think about that. That's fact. That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. And he only played one season. I'm a huge fan of Rico Scott, by the way. Right tackles. I don't know who will be the number 2 right tackle behind Wilcom Formby. It's something that we're definitely tracking into week 2. Who do you think comes out as number 2, the number 2 right tackle behind Formby? Maybe Jackson Lloyd, right? What if Jackson Lloyd is the number 2 tackle and then the number 2 left guard is Michael Carroll? Yeah, West Coast, and I'm with you, man. Like, who are the backup tackles, right? I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Who are the backup tackles? Stanley says Casey Poe. Love that. Maybe it is Casey Poe. Antoine's like, maybe Casey Poe just a starter. Wham, bam, wham. What's up? I love that. A lot of people talking about Casey Poe. I think I've seen a lot of stuff on like Lazier Brooks, Casey Poe, Jeremiah Beeman. Those are like your spring risers, it seems like. All right, I think I got a couple more. We talked about this already. It's kind of that bandit position and kind of the log jam that there is right now because Kelby Collins and Keon Keeley and Jordan Renard and then all behind LT Overton. I don't know how that's going to turn out for number 2. You kind of wonder. I wonder if Alabama knew that LT Overton was going to stay before Kelby Collins came over. Because I think the bandit position could have been fine without Kelby Collins. Right? Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do for this A-Day game. I guess I'm going to go to the football stadium and watch the game. No, I can't stream it. They'd be so mad at me. Can you imagine? I guess I'll just go over there, just watch the game, and just come back and have a show, I guess. Love Marshall Pritchard, bro. 6'6", 235-pound tight end. Yes, please. Did anyone? I watched the 60 Minutes thing on this drone. Did you see these drones? I just watched the opening yesterday. We were cleaning up here at the house, and I saw it. All these drones and like the whole drone situation was crazy. It still trips me out. We still don't even understand like what it was. No, I ain't gonna go live. I'll go live on A-Day, but not from the stadium. No way. That would probably be like their Alabama's worst nightmare, right? A nobody content creator with 112,000 subscribers streaming from the stands. I'm independent. I don't work for anybody. I could just do whatever I want. You think I'm going to be the only one? Think about this. That thing is going to be streamed so many times by so many different fans. Seriously, think about this. They're going to have what? Like 50 to 60,000 in the stadium. Probably more. Everyone's going to have their phone and be filming, and then they're just going to put it on social media. Right? I could just do the same thing, I guess. And Boomwa. Yo, this dude is a baller, man. I love this group. This is one of my favorite groups all of a sudden. I was worried about this group going in. Jeremiah Beeman, have you seen the footage of him? Yeah, man. The most you know what I might start doing too? I was thinking about it. I'm dead serious. And I said this on the beginning show. I think I might start covering the wheelchair basketball teams. Seriously. It was super entertaining. Let's face it, it's uplifting. Those athletes are absolutely ballers. Look up Peter Barry, one of my boys. Yo, this guy had 13 points in the first quarter. Couldn't miss. I think I might start adding some. I'm serious. That coverage blew up. I was blown away. I couldn't believe how entertaining the wheelchair it was crazy. They were the speed and the overall physicality of that game. It was so entertaining. I go in terms of entertaining sports. I go Alabama football, of course, and then I'd say wheelchair basketball. I guess men's basketball and then softball. Well, gymnastics is also cool to check out. I'm telling you, wheelchair basketball was so entertaining. Look up Peter Barry if you haven't seen him. Baseball too, yeah, baseball. Yo, LeBron is like the best player in college baseball. And then lastly, this Husky position. I don't know what's going to happen here. If I had to guess, it kind of seems like Cam Calhoun is going to be like the guy there. Dude, I'm serious. The guys when I was there, the wheelchair basketball, dude, from outside, those guys didn't miss. Cody, what's up, man? Thanks for being here, bro. Does it seem I'm seeing the same thing you guys are, and I heard really good things on Yale, Alabama from Kane Womack talking about Cam Calhoun. It seems like he's going to be the Husky, right? I've heard they've put Bray there a couple times, probably just to get some reps. But I would imagine he's your safety along with Keon Sabb, and then Cam Calhoun's your Husky. Yeah, I agree. The adaptive athletics that's what's up, man. They do a really good job here at Alabama. I was blown away. But the Husky position, I think, is going to be Cam Calhoun. You know, PZ, I've thought about that too. I think, like, in terms of, because you want somebody here who has a lot of physicality, and I think Drake or Patrick could be that guy. We saw Red Morgan play it last year. He played a lot, right behind Devontae Smith. So I think he's in the mix too. Oh. PZ says inside the comment box, mentioning Cam Calhoun's size. See, I thought about that a little bit as well, but you can't really, like, you had Damani and Zabian have already locked up those corner spots, right? Cody, the latest on Grant Nelson is just that, and this is from Nate Oates yesterday, is that he's going to see a knee specialist and hopefully be available for round 1, which they're playing Friday. We all know if Grant Nelson is not healthy, they still have a very high probability to beat Robert Morris. But in terms of, like, how far they go without Grant Nelson, I don't know if they can make a real run without him. They got guys. They got so much depth, but Grant Nelson, give me Grant Nelson during March Madness, man. The guy played phenomenal last year. Remember the game that he played against North Carolina? That was an incredible performance. In big games, that guy has big game ability. So that's where we're at. He's had some nasty dunks. He's posterized some dudes this year for sure. I love the one against Auburn when he hit the crane on the dude after. I'm a miss Grant Nelson when he bounces out from here. I like this play. Much better this year than last year. Playing like the player that we thought he was going to be. All right, fam. That's our show for Monday. I'm toying around with being back tonight and having some evening shows, kind of to recap the day's news. I might open up the phone lines. So keep your head on the swivel. Probably, if I do shoot in the evening time, probably be like 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. Later in the day, these are also uploaded as podcasts. And then, we're active on Facebook, TikTok, all your spots. So check us out. Thanks for giving me some grace on the first episode that we had this morning. It was a little bumpy. The internet is what it is. But I'm glad we're able to stream now. I appreciate you guys being fan funders of my program. I really appreciate it. I wouldn't be here without you guys. Every show is handcrafted from my heart. And thanks for hanging out with me this morning. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Kyle Anderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Thanks for the well wishes too. We're feeling back to normal. Back to normal. And the buzzer beater post right here. Love that Josh Pate gave a shout out to Lazier Brooks. That's what's up, man. Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about him. 100%. Good for him, man. Good for him. Got to keep it going, man. Hey, what's up, Raphael Jones? The DBs can't get their heads to turn around to play ball. Thanks for being here. All right, fam. Oh, Ephraim, I saw that, man. Bill Belichick. Yeah. All right. Yeah, thanks, Brandon. I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, I'm so grateful to feel better, man. That was it was like 8 days I was under the weather. I was back at it, though, man. So thank you. Thank you very much. All right. I'll catch you maybe tonight. Or as news happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Thanks for watching today. Today is Monday, March 17th, St. Patty's Day. Be good people. Be where your feet are at.